Okay, a little different there. Said recording in progress. Shout out to the white lady.
Thank you, white woman.
Thank you, white lady. Hopefully, when we upgrade this Zoom shit, I don't have a white woman telling me what to do. There's only one white woman that tells me what to do.
It'll be worse. It'll be a white dude telling you what to do.
I'll be some fucked up shit. I want a non-binary automated voice to tell me what to do. I could clearly tell this person's what this sound is white. Yo, man, we back at it again. Episode whatever this is. I've honestly lost count if I'm being honest. But yeah, man, this is the intro. What's going on, brother? Why are you wearing a long sleeve shirt?
I'm good, man. As you can tell, I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt because
is it snowing?
We talked about running.
Yep.
Yesterday, we talked about distance biking, and I saw the Charleston Marathon that I ran back in 2012.
Wow, 10 years ago.
I saw the shirt. Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
You know why not? I'm in the mood. I gotta get in that mindset. Let me wear the marathon shirt. That might be as close as I get to running another marathon.
Yeah, this podcast is gonna be crazy because we're talking about random marathons and serial killers, what ifs, right? But
yeah, this is some lighthearted serial killer talk.
I don't know if that's a thing, but we're gonna make it a thing right after this intro.
Speaking of which, if you're watching this, like if you're listening to the show on Spotify, you can't tell, but I know what you're asking yourself. I know the question because we talked about serial killers. Yes, I did have better hair than Ted Bundy. I know Ted Bundy. I know the dude. He was, supposedly he was a looker. That's how he was able to charm his way into, he was able to charm his victims. And then when they were least expecting it, he fucking smacked them over the head. And when they were unconscious, he did what he did to them.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this. Yes. We're gonna get into that how fucked up what you just said it was. But check out the intro first of Mine House Beats. Sick fuck. Yo, what are you doing right now?
The big V. Look, man.
All right, man. Let's just jump right into this shit.
So I made my wife wake up and drive me there anyway. Es a major.
¿Qué pasa con eso? ¿Qué pasa con español?
¿Qué pasó, papá? ¿Cómo estás? Any questions?
Now, when you bought that sweater, right? You just go, fuck it. I'm going full Mr. Rogers. You've tuned into the Man Chatter Podcast.
All right. You gotta set the mood.
All right, man. What now? Like, let's just continue that. Jump right back into what you just said.
I had to set the mood, man.
How do you have to set the mood? Did you say you had better hair than Ted Bundy? You're going with the Ted Bundy from Zac Efron, or like the Ted Bundy that we saw, like the one with like the.
Look, man. First of all, I'm looking at a picture of Ted Bundy on Wikipedia, and he does look like Zac Efron. Not only that, Wikipedia has like, before you actually click on the Wikipedia, when you Google it on the right side, it gives you like a little excerpt, the summary.
Right.
And it has one big picture and like 3 or 4 other pictures. And one of those pictures is Zac Efron, and the motherfucker looks just like him.
He does look just like him.
I could tell why he was pulling. I could tell why he was, these people were maybe a little hypnotized with him. Like, Zac Efron's a pretty decent looking guy. Like, all right, okay, he's just Zac Efron of the 70s.
Yeah, I guess
between 74 and 78.
Yeah, and all over the country, from Oregon to Florida, which.
But look, there's something about him, like Zac Efron. Whatever he kind of looks like him. But this picture of Ted Bundy, like he's got this crazy smirk and like a look in his eyes. Like, I don't care what fucking celebrity he looks like. There's something off in those eyes. That stare, that creepy ass stare.
Think about it, like what started this whole conversation, and the other day, we'll phrase it like that. The other day, I was talking about Samuel Little, right? Where we jumping because I thought.
I know.
Because look, I had the misconception, I had the misunderstanding that.
Wait. Hold on a second. I know what you're about to say, but Samuel Little.
Yes.
If I tell you that this dude had 60 confirmed victims.
Yes.
But that he confessed to killing 93.
Yeah.
Tell me, who do you picture? That misconception.
Yeah.
What do you picture?
You 100%, dude. Like. You 100% should like picture like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy that looks like your next door neighbor. That looks like a Dahmer or Ted Bundy, and all that. Like, it looks like the generic or BTK. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the generic white man that you like auto-populate on Canva. This was a black dude, bro. Like
a country-ass black dude from Georgia.
Yeah, was arrested over 100 times. And only spent a total amount of 10 years in jail. I couldn't do, like, I'd never heard of this guy in the history of my life. Didn't know who he was. I The only reason why I googled like black serial killers was because on YouTube, Watch Mojo talked about this serial killer in Atlanta called Wayne Williams, right? That killed children. Jesus. And I was like, okay, that's dark as shit. But you know, sometimes that shit like piques my interest. I was like, oh, I wonder what other kind of evil is out there, you know? And I googled like black serial killers, and Samuel Little was the first thing that popped up. Who the fuck is Samuel Little? Like, he killed as recently, and you think like, oh, this is decades ago, and that of course it happened because people were more trustworthy, left their doors open, like Richard Ramirez and all that shit, right? No, 2008 was his last confirmed kill. Like, that's 13 years ago.
He's the most prolific serial killer in American history. Yeah. And look, that's a hell of a title to have, man. Like, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of serial killers.
No, that's
what you know what I mean.
He's the Michael Jordan of
that's
killing.
That's what it is,
dude. Like, we watched. I sent you the link.
To some people, he's the LeBron of killing. To some people, he's the LeBron. That's a heated debate. I don't know. Is he the Jordan or is he the LeBron? I don't know. I would say that he's the Jordan because LeBron would not have fessed up to it. LeBron would have been like, I need a lawyer, and then he would have started flopping in the fucking interrogation room.
100
like Jordan, nah. Like Jordan, this motherfucker's like, you know what? They're like fucking grapes, and I'm gonna pick them off the vine,
dude.
Nice little grapes. I can't believe that motherfucker said that. That shit was sick. I know we're making fun of it, but that was he's in another realm.
No,
the way that he was talking about his victims, and I think it wasn't word for word, but he's like, I some states I came back to them, and they were like pretty little grapes on a grapefine, and I would just pick them off.
Picking them off.
This dude,
yeah,
no remorse whatsoever,
dude. Like, and he would kill. His MO was strangulation. He would rape them and then strangle them, right? And then like sometimes I'll rape them while he's strangling them, because that's how he got his fix. But like the way he just talked about it was so like nonchalant. Like, it wasn't like, I was almost like telling a story to a friend. You know what I mean? And he's talking to like two detectives.
Like the way that you and I are talking about it.
Yeah,
but we're talking about crazy people that did something. We didn't actually do this stuff.
Yeah, he's like he's like, yeah. So every time I'd go back to a city, just pick another one off and another one off, and nobody would care. He killed like prostitutes and drug addicts, and you know, people that other people wouldn't miss. That he found his this fucked up. He found his groove. He found his groove. He found his niche, and he made that work for over 35 years. I think it was like 1973 to 2008. He killed 93 women, and like, what was it, like 16 to 17 states? Yeah, that's just bananas.
He was telling the story. I didn't finish watching that 23-minute.
I couldn't finish watching
like crime series episode.
Forcefield.
No, I wanted to, but then I started reading about Dahmer and Berkowitz and John Wayne Gacy and other serial killers. So you know what? We're about to have a lighthearted serial killer conversation. That's what we're about to do.
Yeah, we're about to talk
about the Zac Efron of serial killers and about the LeBron / Jordan of serial killers. You know, depending on who you stand.
Yeah.
To me, he's the Jordan of serial killers.
He's the Jordan of serial killers. He's 100% Jordan. Like, because like the way you said it, like the sociopathy of like how he just expressed himself. Like, yeah, just picked them. It wasn't even like human beings. I was like, oh yeah, she was cute. She made me laugh, but I already made my mind up that I was gonna kill her. Like,
you know what? That lack of empathy and emotion, you can even say he's the Kawhi Leonard of serial killers.
He is the Kawhi.
I mean, he's the Kawhi.
I mean,
no emotion.
And now he has health issues.
Straight buckets.
You know what I mean? Like, not, oh wow, because he's drunk. Yo, this podcast is brought to you by We're Sorry.
Don't cancel us.
Please. Hey, man, look, obviously.
Can you imagine if I've only had 3 sips of this. Can you imagine if I actually was drinking? Oh my God.
Oh no, listen, man, this is the first podcast in a long time that I'm not drinking. I'm drinking water because I got to be up stupid early for work. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be pragmatic and think about my health and wealth. And I'm going to drink my 18th cup of water today because I drink 2 jugs, half gallon. So I try to drink like 2 gallons of water a day. Because I read somewhere on the internet you're supposed to drink your weight in ounces. I don't know if that's accurate because like the thing we know is like 8 cups, but if like you're 160 pounds or 40 pounds like you are, You're supposed to drink like 140 ounces, so on and so forth.
155.
Yeah. So like you should do it like that. I was all right. And it's very difficult, bro, because the amount of pissing I've been doing.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. I'm 300 ounces, so that's almost 3 gallons. So it's excessive, and I'm getting up all through the night fucking having a piss. But who plays Sam Little in a movie? I don't even know if there's already been a movie. Because again, I just found out about this guy yesterday. I know we said Samuel L. Jackson, but the way he looks, it has to be the guy who played Malcolm X. I think, what the fuck is his name, bro? Jeffrey Wright. Look up Jeffrey Wright, the actor, on your top notch internet over there. Jeffrey Wright.
I was gonna say James Earl Jones, but he's been forgotten. I just looked him up. He's 91 years old. 90.
He can't do it. He can't do a movie. Not at 90.
What's the dude's name? James Wright?
No, Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright.
He's also the guy from Westworld. Yo, we're like fan casting.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright could do it.
Wasn't he in like a Star Trek?
He was.
I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He's been in Westworld. He's been in Westworld. He played Malcolm X for a TV movie. Did a phenomenal job. Like he has a movie on, I think, Netflix called like The Long Night with another up and coming actor. Well, not Jeffrey Wright isn't the up and coming actor, but yeah, I think he plays. He would play a good Sam Little. 93 women, bro. 93 women. Like I don't even know how I don't even know. All right, man. Look, let's have this. We're gonna do this stupid, lighthearted / dark conversation. How does a black dude get away with that much in the South? Like he couldn't just like. Didn't they like put people in life for like stealing Jolly Ranchers?
That shit in itself is like a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah.
How did he get arrested 100 times and only do 10 years in prison?
Yeah.
Like with all the crazy, during because he's, his age that he is. So during the times that he was active, like if they got a hold of you being black, like they're going to try to throw the book at you. How the fuck did you get picked up 100 times, arrested 100 times and served only 10 years?
Dude, did you get to the part in the...
You know why? Only the GOAT could do that.
Only the GOAT can do that.
The dude,
make it to the finals.
His lawyer, Clutch.
Make it to the finals and win. Listen, this guy
6 for 6
or 93 for 93. He did you get to the part where he told the story of like when he had that dead body in like the backseat of his car and was stopped by the cops?
I was gonna bring that up because I think that's where I stopped after he told that story.
After he told the story, I was like, okay.
Yeah, we were going at it and I was strangling her, and then when I was zipping up, I saw those blue lights pop up, and he's like, I almost got caught that time.
Yeah.
He's like, he sees me putting on my pants. He goes, "What are you guys doing?" He goes, me and my old lady, we're just having intercourse.
Yeah.
And then the dude peers in the back window and he sees her just laying there, like not moving. Yeah. And he goes, he's like, all right, then, get on then.
Yeah. Get out of here.
I almost got caught. I can't believe that he didn't notice it. I went and hurried up before he took a second look. Or he said, I started to talk to him about something to distract him so he wouldn't go have a second look. But the way that he talked about it
was like nothing.
The way that you and I are talking about it, we weren't there. We didn't do this crazy shit. This stuff doesn't register in his mind as
these weren't people to him.
If it is, it's just like another day in the park to him. Yeah, they weren't people.
Yeah.
You can't see people as actual people if you're gonna do those things to them. Like 93 women.
He was describing
one woman, 2 women.
He's describing these murders and like all these women he killed. Like you and I would describe like a TV show that we like. You know what I mean? Hey man, we need to check out this show. Or yo man, this sandwich from whatever the fuck. You need to try it because you know what I mean? Like it's very like matter of fact, unemotional, Kawhi-esque. Yeah. Like that's why it can't be like, I mean, he's the greatest he's the most prolific serial killer of all time. He has to be Kawhi.
If we're gonna compare it to points, then he's gotta be the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Then he's the NBA point scorer of all time.
Yes.
Followed by, and this might be a more fitting description because this is close. Followed by Karl Malone. Karl Malone allegedly did some crazy, or maybe not allegedly. I think he actually did do this shit. Whatever he's been accused of doing.
Oh, yeah, like having sex with.
And now that I look at it, Karl Malone kind of could play this dude. I think that's what Karl Malone is gonna look like when he gets a little bit older.
Yeah, but he's heavy on the juice. Heavy on like Karl Malone. Like I saw a picture of him. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be some arthritis in
at 57 years old. He's still jacked.
Oh no, he's still jacked. Him and Shannon Sharpe. But
Shannon Sharpe.
Fucking juiced up.
He's on the juice too, right? He's got to be.
I mean, look, it's hard for me to say that.
And I don't know
because
that sounds like it's coming from a place of hate.
Yes, like Shannon Sharpe was always bodied up in the league.
Yeah,
always top level shape. So I think that dedication doesn't go away. I don't think a lot of people don't become Paul Pierce. You know what I mean? Like where we know Paul Pierce was just playing to like stay in shape. He didn't stay in shape.
Mm-hmm.
But like now that he's out of it, you know what I mean? He's might as well be fucking round mound and rebound. You know what I mean? Like he's lost all his shape, never had the muscle tone, never had the body. That's why he had to be carried off in a wheelchair to take a shit. Wasn't under his own power. So yeah, no. Dude, that Sam Little shit blew my mind, bro. And also, honestly, the amount of black serial killers also blew my mind. I didn't think there was that many.
Yeah.
I think it was dominated by white people. I guess it was more interracial than segregated than I thought. I thought it was like 15. It was like 15 names on the list that I'd never heard of. Why do you think that is, though? Right, like we know of like the famous ones, right? Because they're, I guess, more easy to market. We know the Charles Mansons, the Jeffrey Dahmers, the BTKs. We know about people that just were caught, like the Golden State Killer, Son of Sam, and all these people that were white, right? And John Wayne Gacy. But there's a ton of black serial killers that like never get talked about. Like, what do you think that is? Like, because why aren't they as for lack of a better term, marketed and talked about more? Like, these would be things that I would want to know to like look out for. Like, hey, well, not for me, but like for my wife or somebody like that. Like, hey, there's these people in the area.
Yeah, I think it's because white people want to have all the titles, all the glory. They want to be the best serial killers they can be.
Yeah,
they're like, this dude had 93 kills. Now
we
can't let that get out. We can't let that get out.
No,
we're gonna hold the title.
Yeah, like you think this?
Speaking of which,
like, you think it's like a white power structure?
Are we
going
by rings? Because if by rings, then he would be the Bill Russell.
11. I mean, look,
which is crazy because every player I've named is black too. And yes. I'm not trying to make a race thing out of it. It just happens that black players are the greatest basketball players in the most part. I mean, look, we got Jerry West, we got Pistol P, whatever, but
Larry Bird.
Yeah, Larry Bird. Can't forget about Larry
Dirk Nowitzki. I guess you can put on.
Who gets shit on a lot. And the dude was a beast.
I think Dirk Nowitzki you can put in there. Like the greatest Caucasian players. Luka's on his way. But like, where do you put like Europeans in the conversation? Like, if we're talking American white, like then you got. I can't really think of that many. If we're being honest. But so one thing about the Sam Little shit, it was crazy when they put like these 3 serial killers. It was like Ted Bundy, BTK, and the Golden State Killer, or something like the less prolific serial killers. He killed more people than them combined. But fucking Ted Bundy gets like 8 movies on Netflix. Sam Little can't get a fucking infomercial.
God, he got some grainy, like VHS quality episode done about him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Crazy. And I'm telling you, it's white America. They want to hold the title. They want to be the GOAT at everything.
But it's weird, right?
Everybody down.
And it's weird though, because like their whole notion for years through like be afraid of the black man shit, you know what I mean? Was like, this is the perfect thing you could show, right? Like, hey, look,
honestly, it would be, right?
Like this is real. This isn't like some made up movie that you made for white patrons in the 40s and 50s. Like it just was never talked about. It's crazy.
And on a serious note, I'm surprised on that note that you talk about like the entire the entire made up story about the black man as a monster, fear the black man.
Yep.
I'm surprised that like Sam Little is not constantly mentioned at the forefront. Like that's not the number one serial killer that we hear about all the time.
Yep.
While Bundy and all these other guys, like you mentioned, would be like, oh yeah, and plus there's also these other guys, but be afraid of this dude. Like, even though he's the only, he's not the only black serial killer, but he's the most prolific one. Yep. Like you would think that he would be the one that's propped up for everyone to continue to fear the black man and look at all these horrible things that black men do. That is surprising because I had never heard of him before.
Never.
Which,
Like, dude,
you know,
like until yesterday.
That's why we joke about it. Yeah, that's why I joke about it. But I'm like, they won all the titles. Like,
Yeah.
you know, nah,
It's
we
weird,
got
right?
all the serial killers. We got all the top of the line.
Yeah, like,
I'm like,
we
what?
us as that's weird. It's like until that documentary, Richard Ramirez, I'd never heard of Richard Ramirez, never heard of the Night Stalker ever. You know what I mean? Up until that documentary, I had never. Then again, I don't go out of my way to like be well versed in serial killing. You know what I mean? I think that's a little weird, and I like to keep a force field around that kind of negativity. But dude, like I'm thinking it was like this is the perfect thing to use to be like, oh look, fear the black man, fear this, fear that. It's what gets talked like. But I guess you take your own supremacy over your propaganda that you've built. You know what I mean? Where like you only have that's where like the Ted Bundys and the Jeffrey Dahmers and even the Richard Ramirez, because he's white passing, right? Is he becomes more marketable and becomes more like has more sex appeal, you know what I mean? With women sending him pictures and trying to marry him. Charles Manson, same thing. Where like there's no romanticism or romanticizing of a black serial killer. And the for lack of better term, obviously not trying to be callous about the 93 victims' family, so on and so forth. The greatest of all time was a black dude that killed 93 women. And until yesterday, when I'm actually looking for somebody else, I accidentally stumbled across Samuel Little. Never heard of him ever, bro. Not, and I follow plenty of true crime podcasts, all this shit. Not a fucking whisper of the GOAT serial killer. That's crazy, man.
I don't know, man. I think it's all these. Hey, we didn't even mention them. It's all these Kobe fans.
Oh wow,
that's what it is.
R.I.P.
It's the Kobe fans. They're like, no,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Hey, by the way, since you mentioned him a few times, the BTK killer.
Yep.
You think he would have had a big fan group if it would have been like the BTS killer? He would have been BTS before BTS. He would have had all the K-pop fans.
I mean, if he would like, no, Dark. First of all, salute. But I don't think he would have had it because he was like a pudgy, balding guy. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have like the appeal of a Ted Bundy. You know what I mean? Like Ted Bundy did kind of look like a Zac Efron from the 70s. You know what I mean? So that's what there's that other guy, Ed something, that like killed co-eds too before Ted Bundy. Because like his mama, which I saw the show Mindhunter on Netflix, and they talk about him because they talk about like actual serial killers, like the beginning of psychology and all that shit.
I've been meaning to watch it. That's like the beginning of profiling and stuff like that, right? At the FBI and or across the country.
Yeah, behavioral science and that whole thing. It's good, and it has the guy from Hamilton, the one that plays the king. He's like the main inspector and shit, investigator. All they do is like interview serial killers. They're not as far like I've watched the first season, I haven't watched the second, but they interview other serial killers and like it's serial killers that are real serial killers that are reenacted by actors that look just like those serial killers. Like Son of Sam is in there. Jesus. Charles Manson's on like the second season. You have that guy Ed Dahmer or Ed Rainier, some shit like that. Big tall white dude, big burly white dude that killed people. And like it shows like it tells you like how serial killers are like keep tabs on the police, sometimes even involve themselves in the investigation and shit like that. It's a good show, man.
Well, yeah, that's how BTK killer got caught because, like you said, he was old and balding and pudgy, and he overpowered his victims, and so he stopped killing. His last victim was in 91.
Yep.
And I guess a newspaper article or some like a TV special came out where like, oh, we're forgetting about the BTK killer, or we're forgetting about this killer. So he started sending notes to the police again, trying to taunt them. Yep. And his dumbass got caught because he sent him a floppy disk with like pictures and other things, except the floppy disk, I think, was used by him in his church for some bullshit, and he didn't format it properly. And even if he did format it, like, forensics experts dug into it and they found fragments of an old Word document from his church that said last edited or last modified by Dennis. And of course, he was like the leader at his church of some particular council or whatever. And so he was Dennis, which is actually, I forget what his actual name is, the BTK killer. Dennis something. Yeah. Dennis Rader.
Yeah.
Like that's how he got caught because he was just like he wasn't killing anymore. 2004, he sent them. He got caught in 2005. In 2004, he sent them all this, these things taunting the police. But his last victim was in 91. But he just didn't want to be forgotten.
Yeah,
like he wanted to create his own legacy and his own nickname. Yeah, his ego's what got him caught.
Yeah, and he was weird. He was a strange one in the serial killer sphere because he didn't have a specific victim. He killed everybody, men, women, and kids. If anybody was home, they all died. So that was
and he went a long time between like victims. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but fuck.
Well, he had like
there
a
was
family.
no MO for that guy.
Yeah, he had like a family.
He had 2 kids, married, member of the church.
Yep.
Normal.
Don't trust anybody.
Normal, everyday American dude.
Number one rule for me is don't trust anybody. All day, every day. Dude, that's so BTS killer. I mean, the BTS killer does sound a lot more catchy, right? Because BTK the K kind of halts it. You know what I mean? Like if it was like, it has to be something like sequitous. I don't even know if that's a word. Consecutive.
Well, I mean, look, since we're talking about, since we're saying BTK killer and the era of BTS, like what would be your serial killer boy band? It's got to be the BTK killer, right? He's like the lead, even if he's not the most prolific. He's got to be just because he's got that name.
All right, we're going. So we're going
the group leader.
We're going Beatles, right? Let's go Beatles. Let's go. Let's go
Lance, or is it the Justin Timberlake? I mean, the Joey Fatone.
No, if we're being honest, Sam Little is the Justin Timberlake. JC Chazé, if we're going in sync, right? That would be Ted Bundy.
Well, let's go. Okay.
All right.
Let's do Beatles, right? Yeah, you're right. Let's do Beatles.
Let's go Beatles.
Most of these serial killers were like during
that time. Ted Bundy would be John Lennon. Paul McCartney would be Sam Little. Or you can flip those if you like, depending on who you believe the leader of the Beatles was. I think there was Ringo and George, right? So I got 2 more. Then I'd go BTK.
Who gets the least credit?
George.
Out of all George, that would be Sam Little. That would be Little then.
That would be right? Sam Little.
Sam Little would be the George of the Beatles.
Yeah, even though he's the most.
He's an important part of the group, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Doesn't get the credit. Dude, that conversation, I'm still like racking that shit in my brain. Like, it really is, and going back to it a little bit, it really is weird that he was the most prolific, but just doesn't get the credit, but would fit perfectly into the white power structure of that time, right? Like he's who you would believe, but I guess because he was arrested so many times, like, oh, no, I can't be him. Again, arrested over 100 times in 40 years and only spent a maximum of 10 years in prison before his all his life sentences now. When he was in his late 70s, which, I mean, the damage is done.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy, bro. This is a dark ass conversation. Yeah, that's crazy. But Jeffrey Wright plays him, right?
Was that a good casting? This is definitely lighthearted serial killer talk.
We're
creating a boy band, a serial killer boy band. Come on now.
We're creating a serial killer boy band, and we're fan casting who would play Sam Little in a movie. That has to be Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, you're right. We go with Jeffrey Wright. Yeah.
That'd be a solid cast.
Jeffrey Wright for sure.
I mean, look, if we can get, like I said, 6 fucking Ted Bundy movies, we can get 1 Sam Little movie with Jeff Wright.
I mean, Ted Bundy wasn't even a damn.
How many people? How many women did he?
A serial killer, but he killed. It says he confessed to 30 homicides.
Jesus.
Committed in 7 states.
Jesus Christ, bro. From like Portland, from Portland to Utah, all the way down to Florida. He killed a couple people at Florida and Florida State, if I remember correctly. And what was different with him, like he killed co-eds that like had families and people looked for. That's why Sam Little was so prolific, because he just killed, like I said, prostitutes and the least common denominator of every society.
By his own admission, he looked for people that weren't going to be missed, I think were his words. Yep. Women that were prostitutes, and I think just single women, people that didn't have family, he just somehow found them. And the investigator said, he was able to find, these women or where they hung out, or he would identify them, and no one would look because they had no family, or they were prostitutes, or So he ran no risk of being caught, or minimal risk. It's
Like he said, another grape on the vine, bro. Another fucking grape on the vine. That shit was crazy. Yo, man, I want to formally apologize to you for sending you 87,000 pictures of the logo that we're working on for the pod. I know it's been exhausting, and it meant here shout out to Looka.com, LOOKA.com. Not a sponsor. We don't have any. We keep it independent. Bro, but here's what, I don't know if you've ever been on this website. I don't know if you've heard of it. I have no, again, this is the Sam Little of websites for me, right? Because I've never heard of it. I just Googled like, hey, how to make a podcast logo, or like popular podcast logos, and then this shit comes up, right? So I Google it and I put in your information, the different kind of logos that you might like and shit like that. And I put it in and do it, and I'm scrolling through, and it keeps going, John. It doesn't stop, bro. Whereas like at least I've narrowed it down from having the bourbon glasses and the bourbon infused slogan.
You can stop. All you gotta do is stop scrolling or typing in new types of designs. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, and I've narrowed it down to like, I want the hexagon. I want the hexagon logo. I think the hexagon.
Why do you want the hexagon?
Because it's the bestagon.
Because it's a bestagon, damn it. That's right. Did you watch that video?
I did. Fucking moron.
It's like an 8-minute video.
Hexagon is the bestagon. I like that one because I think it looks better as a logo and like as a thumbnail. Like the other one would be better as like a banner. With the man and the two people in the middle and the chatter. I think it looks better as a banner, but not so much as a logo, as a thumbnail. So I'm gonna go with that. I gotta narrow it down to the colors I want in the font. That's where I'm at now. At least I know I have the idea. The image is just now tinkering with what I wanted. Because then like you pay for it, right? It's not free. You pay for the logo, and then you get like all these different PNGs with it. I don't even know, like it says like over 300 image versions of it. So you can put like stickers, put it on cards, and all these different things. Everything has a different layout and pixel count or some shit. So it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's a Sam Little of websites. Never heard of it. I'd never heard of it.
I think how crazy. I haven't heard of it either, because it's probably fairly new. Like these things just keep popping up. New companies, new creators find a new way to, because podcasting is exploding. All these different avenues are exploding or growing, and then people are creating companies and services around that. And I've seen sites like it, but I hadn't seen that specific site. So I mean, it looks clean and simple, and from what you told me about the price, it sounds like it's reasonable.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
So yeah, but we were talking about before we close out the show. We were talking about this serial killer boy band.
Yes, I forgot to ask.
We got Ted Bundy. How about Jeffrey Dahmer? Wasn't Jeffrey Dahmer like a chocolate factory worker? Which makes sense. And he worked at the deli.
Yeah, because he killed black dudes. Which
kind of makes sense.
He killed black dudes. He killed gay black dudes. And he ate them. Yeah, and then he ate them. Found like heads in his fridge. Yeah. In his freezer. Yeah.
Like, I wonder if he had chocolate syrup from the chocolate factory. I don't know. I'm sure he prepped him like a hoagie. If he worked at Subway, I don't know.
I want to apologize for this question ahead of time, but because it's going to be very dismissive, and that's fine. But is he killing men? Is that more, it has to be more impressive, right? Because you get like overpowered.
How's that dismissive?
Because there's female victims that I'm just like, yeah, you weren't that much of a like, you know what I'm saying? Like you went, okay, makes sense.
I mean, it depends. I haven't dug deep into his victims. Like I haven't looked at was he going after frail,
right,
men that were
bottoms?
Almost
was he going after bottoms? Is that what you're saying?
Feminine men? Was he going after what, models?
No, bottoms. A whole bunch of bottoms.
I don't know.
Like if he was more like a top, because he was a gay dude.
He was the bear. He was going after. He was a top. He was a bear. He was going after bottoms. I don't know.
Maybe he was like a power bottom. I don't know. This just go okay. This can
look, man. So, look. We got so who did we name? We named Sam Little. We named Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
We got Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yep.
I want to throw one in there who's not American because he's an oldie but a goodie. We're gonna throw Jack the Ripper in there.
Oh, Jack the Ripper's there's like two Rippers.
He's British.
There's two Rippers.
He's got to represent, the Beatles. He's got to represent that.
That's true.
Were there?
Yeah, though. So it was Jack the Ripper, and then there was the Ripper, and like a small town. There's a documentary. Again, like I don't like delving into too much of this shit because it's crazy. But he killed women as well. Like he like cut them up with a knife, and he had tons of victims. So like I don't even know. I don't know much of that story, so I can't speak on it that much. But there was like so there was Jack the Ripper, and then the Ripper that like ripped this like small town in London, and he like killed tens of I don't even know how many women he killed, but he killed all women and like killed them at night, and it was crazy. Where like women wouldn't go out.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's dude, London got some shit. London got some shit now.
What? Hey, what if there was? What if there was a boy band made up of serial killers? How?
Man,
I mean,
makes sense, Phil, right? Because like they had an appetite for women. You know, they got away with a lot of stuff. Like I'm assuming most boy bands do get away with a lot of stuff with women. I mean, they got, and at the end of the day, they end up having like a cult following. Look at Charles Manson, right? Like we didn't even mention him. Charles Manson had his music stolen by the
family.
His music stolen by the American version.
Yo, it's
of
a producer
Beatles.
that. Yeah, it was a producer that he
Beach
met.
Boys,
that
the Beach
he wrote
Boys.
a song.
Yeah,
he had a relationship with someone on the Beach Boys, and
yep.
Well, I don't know if he had all his. He had like 8 songs stolen, right?
Yeah.
He wrote something and they recorded, and then they cut ties with him.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that was during the hippie. He was a hippie cult leader or whatever they called him.
There's a book that I've yet to finish that I need to finish called Chaos on Audible and anywhere you want to listen to books, and it's about Manson and that whole thing, and like him.
Shit, I have it, and I stopped listening to it.
Yeah, I think I recommended it to you.
I don't know why.
When I first started listening, so I need to get back into listening to that. But yeah, dude, it's some dark shit, man. Like you go into that Chaos book where it's like, what the fuck? Because it talks about like Helter Skelter and like the original book on Manson and that whole thing, and like the following, and you don't realize how big the following actually was, and how the government had something to do with it, because the people he grew up around were like FBI and CIA, like heavy into that shit. It gets crazy, man. It gets crazy how that becomes a conspiracy theory, but with a lot of like research shit. So it's when you got to put. Do you put Manson in there? He didn't personally kill anybody, allegedly, but he did have that.
He allegedly never killed anyone, but because of his ideology and what he preached, he conspired. So it was enough to charge him with conspiracy to commit these murders. Yep. Because the people believed in him so strongly.
So do you put him? So would he be the Justin Timberlake then?
I don't put him in there, man. I don't consider him a serial killer. He's a separate.
He's like a manager, I don't even
think he's considered a serial killer.
He'd be like the manager.
He's a cult leader.
Yeah,
he's like what's his name? What's that dude's name? Jim Jones.
Yeah, Jim Jones. Again, didn't personally kill anybody. That's a separate conversation. Didn't kill anybody.
That's another podcast.
Yes,
the cult leader, the goats, the cult leader goats.
Oh, that'd be a sick one. I don't understand cults at all.
That's that would be a different level. That we wouldn't be talking about players. We'd be talking about like owners, like those owners, Jerry Jones.
Yeah, that'd be like
or maybe Jones. Coaches.
Not it would have to be, because they oversee everything. It would have to be the owners. Like it would 100% have to be. It couldn't be the coaches. And who do you put in the
Wayne
coaches?
Huizenga?
Oh my God, the Wayne Huizengas, the John Henrys, the Glazer family.
Oh man,
dude, like who do you put in the coaches spot of darkness? With this could be this is gonna be like a continuing thing, man. I like this shit. We got all right. So we got the boy band or a team, right? A starting 5, right? We do like a starting 5. So if we'll stick to basketball because it's very hard to like field 11. That's too much. So we'll go Sam Little at the center. I mean, because he's like,
I was about to say he's the 5. Yeah,
he's the 5. I put Ted Bundy at the 1. I put Dahmer at the 2, right? Because he's no, sorry, I put Son of Sam at the 2 because he's a shooter.
We didn't even talk about him today, but okay.
I know we put Son of Sam at the 2, or the Zodiac Killer, interchangeable at the 2 because they're shooters. I put 3. You need a 3 and D guy there. I put Dahmer at the 3. Who do you put at the 4?
Bro,
who do you?
Richard Ramirez has got to be in the starting 5, right?
Richard Ramirez has to be. Yeah, put him at the 4. He lanky
with the BTK coming in at like a 6-man or something.
Yeah, 6-man.
Because he was old and pudgy his entire for most of his life anyway. So
got it, bro. You put Charles Manson.
What?
Charles Manson's the Phil Jackson.
He's like Phil Jackson. He's orchestrating that shit.
He's orchestrating the whole fucking thing. Okay. I got nothing else, brother. Hey, man, you got something else for the people?
Hey, just realize that this was all lighthearted.
Yes.
In jest.
Yes.
These people did some horrible things.
Dark motherfuckers, the worst of humanity.
I was sober when I came up with the idea about a lighthearted serial killer talk.
Yeah.
And we went through with it. Why? I don't know. Don't cancel us. That's all I got.
This is not meant to offend or hurt anybody at all whatsoever. It's just jokes, people. It's just jokes. This is not to like defame or make fun of or be dismissive.
Real people were hurt. People lost their lives. Families have to deal with this to this day. You know, it's not a joke, but unfortunately, the stuff already happened, and we're just talking about these horrible people in a different light. We're not putting them on a pedestal. We're not
at all. We're not glorifying them.
Beings they are, because they're garbage, and some of them were human trash, and some of them were human trash, and they just had issues that weren't dealt with. You know, doesn't change what they did, and what they did was horrible. But yeah, we were just shit talking, because that's what we do. We're two assholes talking shit on the internet.
100%, and that'll always be true. All right, guys, we got nothing else. Till next time. Peace. You gonna do your weird peace sign, John? There it is.